Good afternoon, City of Miami Springs and Virginia Garden residents. We have good news today. Okay, today we are going to announce that we're going to open up our summer camp as of Monday, June 22nd. We're going to be hosting a summer camp. Usually we have roughly about 185 participants. This year we're cutting it down to 48 participants. We want to make sure you guys are aware of that ahead of time. Obviously, because of CDC guidelines, the county order, we have to minimize how many kids we have in the program. The guidelines are very, very difficult for us. We want to make sure all your kids are safe. We want to make sure that our staff is safe. So in this video today, we're going to explain those guidelines. We're going to explain to you guys the registration process, what we're doing as far as the department is moving forward to make sure that everybody is safe. The interaction of the kids is very critical. Using of equipment is very critical. We have to hand sanitize everything, clean everything. Restrooms have to be cleaned almost on usage. So these are all things that we're going to speak about in this video to make sure you guys are comfortable with what we're doing and give you guys as much information as possible so that you guys know exactly what you're putting your kid into the program, what they're getting themselves into. With that said, you could always contact us. The video that we post online will have our information on there, my email, contact information. You can ask us questions if we miss anything on here. Plus, we will be announcing a town hall meeting that we're going to have later on this week that we encourage you guys to all attend through Zoom or through Facebook. That information will also be put on our social media. And hopefully this information that we have in this video will keep you guys updated, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so the first thing we want to discuss is the important dates we have coming forward, registration, where to get the documentation to register, and things like that. So for starters, you can get all the registration documents online on our city website, okay? We're not going to do registration online, but you can get the documentation necessary online. What we're going to ask you guys is to go online, download those documents, fill them out, sign them, get everything filled out, because when you come to register on Saturday, you have to have everything filled out. We're not going to have tables or chairs or pens or anything like that for you guys to use. You have to bring it from home ready to go, okay? It's obvious reasons for that. We're trying to create social distancing. We don't want you guys sitting here sharing pens, sharing chairs, tables, etc. Everything's online. You bring it to us filled out, ready to go, and we'll move forward with that process. It's important that you read the waiver, okay, and you sign it. That needs to be signed 100%. And you have to sign the registration form and everything else moving forward, okay? We're going to have a town hall meeting, like I said earlier, on Thursday, okay, the 11th of this week, June 11th, town hall meeting at 7 p.m., okay? I believe it's either going to be through Facebook or Zoom, where you can actually interact and ask questions. So we're having you guys do a Q&A with us, with myself and Kaylin. Just in case you have any questions, we can give you guys the best answer possible. This is a new program. It's a new camp. I'm sure there's a lot of questions for you guys. We're going to try to answer as many of them possible here on this video. But we do understand there's going to be a lot more questions. We want to be able to, you guys feel comfortable with what we're doing and if you guys are registering your child in the program. Registration is Saturday, the 13th, okay? Now, registration is going to be different than we've done in years past. Obviously, we've allowed you guys to walk into the community center, register, fill out paperwork here. Like I said earlier, we're not going to do any of that, okay? You're allowed to line up for registration as of 7 a.m., okay? And registration will be here at the community center, 1401 Westward Drive, okay? You can be here at 7 a.m. to line up, okay? We'll start registration at 8 a.m. and it'll go to about 10 p.m., okay? Sorry, 10 a.m. So we will have a setup here with tents where we'll identify the different age groups. So we'll have a way that you guys will feel comfortable. Social distancing, we'll have markers, we'll have cones, we'll have everything necessary, okay? If you fill out the documentation, the paperwork accordingly, you won't have to bring anything except an ID, where we don't even have to touch, okay? So you bring the paperwork, you line up in the area that you have to line up at, we'll register your child for camp, okay? Again, 7 a.m., you can line up. We start registration at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., okay? Here at the community center, 1401 Westward Drive. All right, guys, so one of the things that we're going to be discussing now is obviously the elephant in the room. How many kids can we have in our program? I think I said it earlier, the cap is 48. And what we're doing is basically we're going to cap it where we have 5 and 6 year olds, 2 groups, okay, 8 children per group, and 2 staff members, okay? So we have 8 children, 2 staff members, 2 groups, and 5 and 6. We're doing the same thing for 7 and 8, and we're doing the same thing for 9 and 10, okay? We're not gonna have a program for children 11 and up. Unfortunately, because of the CDC guidelines, because of how everything is set up in the order for Miami-Dade County, we have to scale our numbers down dramatically. And we looked back at all our numbers from years past, and we felt this was the largest amount of people we could cater to, the masses. And the older kids, we just don't have that many kids usually in the program. So we wanted to be able to cater more to what our community is requesting with our percentages. So we went off of that, okay? So a total of 16 kids in 5 and 6, 16 and 7 and 8, and 16 and 9 and 10, okay? 8, 2 counselors every time. Plus we'll have a floater that's cleaning up, which we'll get into that later. So I know we're overstaffing, but we have to do that because of the new guidelines, etc. Okay. With that said, we're going to transition a little bit into now how the day-to-day operation is going to work. The first thing we're going to discuss is signing in and signing out. Okay. In years past, we used to request you guys to get off the vehicle and sign your child in. This year, we're not doing that. We're doing basically your usual drop off like you do in school. Okay, so between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., you will be able to drop off your child, okay, at the community center. They will walk off, okay? We'll do a temperature check. We'll check them for if there are any temperatures or anything like that. And then from there, they'll be able to basically go to their group, and we're going to sign them in ourselves that, Johnny walked in through the door. He or she is here, sign their name, temperature check, and they will go to their group. Okay, we will have staff outside to make sure your child gets off the car, and walks in through our doors. We're going to be doing this through the double doors of the actual gym. You will not be doing this through the front entrance of the community center. It'll be the double doors next to the pods if you want to drive by, right there next to the basketball courts. Okay, so signing it's pretty simple. You probably do this at your local elementary or school. You drive through the line, they get off the vehicle, and they go into the facility. Signing out is a little bit different, okay? Sign out will be between 4 and 6. Now, before I get into sign out, sign in 7 to 9, okay? Sign out 4 to 6. We are not allowed to take any children between the times of 9 and 4. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. We're not allowed to take anybody's child between the times of 9 and 4. They have to be here in our program between 7 and 9, because we try to consolidate them in one area, basically, keep them there. We don't want people coming in and out. So we're shutting down at 9 o'clock, okay? And then we're opening back up for sign out at 4 o'clock. I'll explain more about this in a little bit. Sign out, you do have to get off the vehicle, okay? We're gonna have a table with plexiglass. You won't have to make any contact with anybody. You just have to bring your ID, and we need to just make sure that you're on the registration so you can sign the child out. You bring us the ID, you put it on the table. We could visually see it. We could check our books. We'll sign you out saying parent is here to pick up so-and-so. We'll check it. You take your ID. We call for your child, and you go on your way home, okay? It's important that you wear a mask if you're approaching us, okay? We might have a line of people. We'll have markers for social distancing, okay? This is nothing new. These are things that we're doing now in supermarkets, in restaurants, wherever we're going, we have to wear a mask. So those guidelines are basic, okay? And we'll continue to follow those guidelines here, okay? If you get off your vehicle and you don't have a mask, the staff's gonna ask you to please go get your mask, okay? Now, that window between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. that we're not allowing anybody to drop off their children, okay? That's an order that the CDC has given us, and they're asking us to stick to that, all right? So we're gonna do that. However, we do understand there might be a time where you're bringing your child in and you might have to go to a doctor's appointment at 11, okay? We're going to ask you to email myself or Kaylin Smith with that request, and at that point in time, we will make sure we can take care of that for you. We'll get your child, we'll bring him or her to the office, we make sure you sign them out at 11, and we'll go on with that. We'll make special requests if needed, okay? But the masses cannot just come in whenever they want. We just don't have the staff, and the CDC guidelines don't allow that. Okay. We will again have the town hall meeting on Thursday. So if there's anything where we missed out, you can ask those questions in the meeting. We're going to go into now the day-to-day operation of the program, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So we're going to get into basically the day-to-day operation of the camp. Okay. The reality is that due to the CDC guidelines and social distancing and some of the stuff that the county has given us to do, our camp has changed dynamically in reference to just first thing first is the priority and the safety of the children in the camp. So with all those guidelines, we've had to basically revamp everything as far as the logistics are concerned, how we run camp, operational wise, no field trips, number one. If we go anywhere, it's going to be the Aquatic Center, obviously our numbers, etc., which we already discussed in the video. So first thing that I want to discuss with you guys is we're not allowing anybody to bring anything from the outside. Now, in years past, kids have brought their iPads, they bring toys, they bring, I don't even know, sometimes kids bring the wildest things, but they can't bring anything, okay? All they can bring is their lunch, a snack, okay, and a water bottle, okay? We're asking because we can't give snack to the children. The vending machines will not be available, okay? So you have to provide them with a morning snack, a lunch, and an afternoon snack, okay? And a water bottle. Our water fountains will not be available. Okay, the guidelines don't allow us to have a water fountain, but if they have a water bottle or a jug or something like that, they're able to fill it up at the water fountain. Okay, so they gotta have a snack in the morning, their lunch, a snack in the afternoon, and a water bottle. Okay, all their stuff will be kept in their little area. Each child will have an area where they're able to keep their things, where we require social distancing so that other kids are not touching their stuff and nothing's getting spread, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Each age group is going to be isolated within an area within the facility here at the community center. So we're going to split the basketball gym into 4, which we can do that with our curtains. So each group, right, will have an area within those 4 quadrants. That'll be 4 groups. Our 5 and 6-year-olds are going to be upstairs in the theater lobby and using the theater. Okay. Up there, they're isolated completely. The 5 and 6-year-olds, they have their own restroom. They have their own water fountain. They're going to be isolated in that area. They're never going to come back downstairs and commingle with other kids. They're up there. They're under control. There's enough space. That's why we asked and we requested to use that space for the 5 and 6-year-olds. The only time they're going to go up is a staff member will walk them upstairs in the morning and sign in and take them up. And when sign out comes, someone will walk them down to the parents and sign them out. So they're never going to be alone. They're never going to be wandering around the building. They'll be isolated almost like a classroom environment upstairs on the 2nd floor, okay? Each group will have their own bag of equipment or games. It's not going to be where everybody's using all the equipment, the footballs, the basketballs, none of that. That group specifically will have their own equipment, okay? We're going to have per group a cleaning person, a janitorial staff member, basically, disinfecting and wiping the equipment down after it's being used. Okay, we're gonna have them wipe down the lunch area. Each group will have their own lunch table and their own chairs. So basically, we're trying to create a classroom environment for them, not your usual camp where we had basically a community lunchroom. Everybody would eat lunch in the same spot. They do rotations. We're not doing any of that anymore. They're confined to their area. That is where they're gonna be at the whole day. Okay. Obviously, that's not an ideal summer camp environment. We're accustomed to the kids coming here, having a lot of fun. They're running around. They're enjoying all the amenities that we have. They're going outside. We have field trips. But we want to be upfront with you guys and keep it, as honest as possible. These are the guidelines that they've given us. And we need to run the camp in this capacity, in this format. With that said, the bathroom usage is going to be basically one-on-one. Okay, that's why we're having 2 leaders per 8 children. So that if we have a child that has to use a restroom, one of the leaders will take them to the restroom. Okay, when they're using the restroom and they're done, we'll have a janitorial team right there to go ahead and clean the restroom right after almost each use. That's going to be our goal. Okay, there are some other things that could come up. I encourage you guys to come up with questions for us for our town hall meeting on Thursday. one of the things I do want to tell you guys is the children have to wear a mask. Okay, I understand. I have a 4-year-old myself. It's uncomfortable at times, but they have to wear a mask. If we're doing a sport, if we're playing basketball, if we're playing, indoor soccer, we're doing something that requires exertion, then we will have them take the mask off. Okay, we're not going to require them to wear the mask, but if they're here, when they walk in through the facility, they have to wear a mask. If they're watching a movie, if they're just, doing something passive, we're going to probably ask them to wear the mask. Okay. If you have a child that for whatever reason cannot wear a mask, you need to let us know in advance so we can find a solution to that problem. Okay. With that said, if a child is sick, it doesn't matter the case. We need a doctor's note that identifies that the child does not have COVID-19, that they're cleared from it. If your child does get sick here at the campsite, we will bring her to the office. We'll call you right away. These are our new parameters that we'll be discussing more in the town hall meeting. But just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing moving forward. Okay, we do have some questions and answers that we've already had from some people in the community. That'll be our next topic in the video, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to go off with our Q&A. Some of these we've already answered, but I do want to go ahead and respond to some of the people that have asked me these questions through email and through social media. And it's good to kind of just get everybody in the same, in the same guidelines here. So Kaylin Smith will be asking our questions, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, question number 1. When and for how long will registration take place?
Registration is Saturday. I believe it's June 13th. Okay. And it's going to be from 8 to 10. You're allowed to line up at 7. Okay. And at 8 o'clock, we will start registration. And the most important thing of registration is please go to our website, download all the documentation, and have it already filled out. Okay. That's going to make things a lot smoother and faster for us on Saturday. We're not going to have tables. We're not going to have chairs. We're not going to have anything for you to sit down and fill out all your information. We want you to be ready to go. That's why we're giving you guys more than ample time to get that stuff out there and come prepared. And we'll do registration on Saturday from 8 to 10.
Will you be providing my child with a mask for camp?
No, we're not going to do that. We thought about doing that. However, we felt that we would put that in your guys' hands because you would know best what your child needs. We looked at a variety of different masks, but we didn't know which ones would work for kids and others. Like my daughter doesn't like them behind her ears. They say it bothers her. So, we decided that right now everybody has to wear a mask wherever we go anyway. So we figured you guys would have masks. So you bring your own mask. However, we do have masks. So if your child forgets his or her mask or it happens to break at camp, we will be able to provide them with a mask in the meantime.
Will my child be taken on field trips or taken to the pool?
We're not allowed to do any field trips. The getting in and out of the bus is an issue. Being able to split them on the bus, social distancing, the cleanliness of the bus is a problem. So we're definitely not going anywhere. The county's not even allowing it. We are allowed to go to the Aquatic Center. The Aquatic Center is open. We will be using it for open swim. However, the children need to know how to swim because we're not able to physically make contact with your child. So they will be requested to pass a swim test that they are able to use the facility at the Aquatic Center. If they're not able to swim, we won't let them use the Aquatic Center. Okay, but we will be using the Aquatic Center in the summertime for a field trip.
Up to what age will you be accepting for camp?
10 years old, up to 10. We're taking children between the ages of 5 and 10.
A follow-up to that one is, will there be volunteers at summer camp?
As much as every year our CITs help us, our counselors in training, they are an asset to our program every year. And a lot of them use that first year to volunteer, where they get their volunteer hours for high school, and then they work for us for years to come. It's a program that unfortunately this year we can't use. The county's not allowing us to have CITs. Anybody who's with the children has to be a paid staff member. So unfortunately, we won't have CITs. Hopefully, we will be back to normal next year and have that. But no, we won't have those this year.
My kids have attended camp in the past. Will there be a parent meet and greet after registration?
we're not doing a parent meet and greet, obviously, for social distancing purposes. That's why we're going to have the town hall meeting, which the information will be at the bottom of the post. That's where you guys can at least ask your questions. The first day of camp, I will be outside in case you guys want to ask any questions then, but or through email or through contacting the community center. Those are the best ways to communicate with us right now.
Can the campers bring personal items with them to camp?
Absolutely not. We don't allow it for various reasons, mostly the safety of the children. But we're trying to avoid kids bringing anything from their home into the community center that could affect anybody else with COVID-19 or anything like that.
What should my camper bring to camp?
Dress them comfortable. Sneakers, shorts, t-shirts. They're going to come here and we're going to try to have as much fun as possible. The guidelines are very difficult for us. We've been, my team, my staff has done a great job of coming up with innovative ideas to keep them busy as much as possible while they're here, because we're tied up as much as possible with, all the guidelines. But the most important thing is water. Have them bring a bottle of water, some type of container, have water, 2 snacks, and lunch. That's what I'm asking you guys to bring right now. If they need to have glasses, obviously they can wear their glasses. If there's anything else they need to bring, that's fine. But they just can't bring any toys or an iPad or their iPhones or anything like that.
Will campers be able to use the water fountains in the facility?
They will not. Only for the purposes of refilling their water bottle. But they will not physically be allowed to press the water fountain and reach over and get water. No.
Will the city be providing lunch, or will there be snacks to purchase?
No. Our vending machines will be closed, and we will not be providing lunch. Now, with that said, most of you guys know us. We're pretty reasonable. If you happen to forget your child's lunch, which has happened several times, we will provide lunch to your child. Okay, we're not going to leave your child here hungry. But no, in essence, we're not able to serve the children like we used to pizza day and stuff like that. We're not able to do any of that. No.
Earlier in the video, you mentioned screening. What is the max temp that a camper will not be accepted to camp?
That's a great question. And the answer is 100.4. Okay. If we do the temperature check in the morning and your child is 100.4, he or she will be asked to go home. Okay. I understand that could be a difficult situation for some of you guys where you might be having to go to work, etc. But unfortunately, those are the guidelines. And the medical team from Miami-Dade County feels that once you've reached that threshold of temperature, you're potentially a candidate for COVID-19. So obviously, to protect all the children in our program, the staff, and everybody, will be asking you to take your child home. All right, so in closing, one of the things that I want to make sure that we're on the same page is, how can the parents help us? Obviously, this is one of those unprecedented situations that we're in right now. So we're going to ask for everybody to help us as much as possible. We're going to be training our staff on all the guidelines, but I do want the parents to understand that you can help us, okay? Number one, monitor your child's signs and symptoms, okay? If he or she is sick, please don't bring them to camp, okay? For numerous reasons, all right? But if their child is sick, please don't bring them to camp. We don't want to spread anything. We want to keep things as clean as possible, and we definitely don't want to put anybody else in any danger, and want to make sure our campers and our staff is safe, okay? Teach your kids how to wash their hands. I'm sure you guys have already done this because we've been at this now for almost 3 months. But it doesn't hurt to reiterate to them, wash their hands, 20 seconds, countdown. We're going to have signs everywhere that kind of explain that. But the more we can educate our children on this, the more it's going to help us move forward with this process, okay? Please educate yourself on our guidelines. Read the waivers, okay? Things are completely different nowadays, right? Some things in the waiver might even alarm you, but it's just the reality of where we're at right now. So please understand what we're trying to do. Help us continue to have a summer camp program. Help us continue to move forward so we continue to have programs for our children come in August in September. We want to be able to move forward with what we're doing. We want our kids back in our community center. We want to have programs back, but we need help. Okay, so teach your kids how to wash their hands. Explain to them that they're going to be going to a camp environment, that even though their friends are here, they still got to remain social distancing. These are ways that you can do this at home and help us, so that we don't tell the kids, hey, you got to maintain 6 feet away. They're like, huh? They're confused. So at least try to help us and guide us in that direction. Okay. With that said, guys, again, town hall meeting virtual on Thursday, 7 p.m. Okay. If you have any Q&A, that's a great time to have it. We'll probably talk about the same stuff we're talking now in the video. Registration is Saturday. We're going to give you guys a nice post today at the bottom with a lot of our information, with my email and Caitlin's email. Okay. You can go to the website, get the document from there. If you have any questions before that, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to talk to us verbally, call us here at the community center, 305-805-5075. We're looking forward to a great, safe, and fun summer. Hope to hear from you guys on Thursday. Good luck and stay safe.